OMG. So you know how Diddy's kids were kinda just chilling in the background while all that court drama with their dad was going on. But now suddenly people started digging into their own pasts. And girl, the stuff that came out is seriously wild and scary, like nobody saw this coming at all.
You don't mind me saying, tis tales. And she said that she was going through the whole lawsuit. And in the lawsuit, it stated that he was recording a song. And the guy, Little Rob, had it in the recording that the girl was actually fighting him off her, and he was trying to make her drink some tequila, and she said, "What's in it? Is anything in it?" And he was trying to fondle on her or whatever like that during the time. And Lil Rob picked that up at the recording. So she's a part of the lawsuit.
Good morning, guys.
Top of the morning, y'all. Stepping, looking Fleeto, stepping. Oh my God! That jacket is, oh my God. That's the most tight jacket ever. Oh my God.
Good morning, guys.
Okay, so get this. While Diddy is just sitting there waiting to hear what the judge is gonna decide about his federal case, 6 of his kids suddenly pop up writing these super emotional letters to back him up, and like he's already been locked up for over a year and he did get found guilty for moving stuff around illegally. But the wild part is he dodged a life sentence since he got cleared of some huge charges. And now his lawyers basically dumped a whole pile of letters in court like, look, he's not that bad. And the sweetest touch is that 6 out of his 7 kids are standing by him in writing.
Tell you something, bro, and this is real talk. He's still going to jail. You happy because he didn't get the RICO and the racketeering, so he gets to keep his money. He gets to keep his inheritance. He gets to keep all the shit that they stole over the years from other people. That's why he happy. Him and Puff wasn't that tight. They used to go at it. People close by would tell that story. Yeah, that's still his father. But you and I both know that extra shit right out there, come on, man. Outside the court, the judge might give him extra time for this and his antics. Puff not coming home, bro. And you gotta realize at 50-something years old, he'll come out to get his Social Security or better. How old is he? Born in 69? We're like 54, 55, something like that. He'll come out and get his Social Security. He had to do 85% of his time. That right there, King Kong or Christian, acting like that in front of the courts, in front of everybody.
So the kids went on and on about how Diddy is like this super loving rock in their lives, teaching them all these values they still live by. And Justin even got all emotional saying, yeah, my dad messed up, but that doesn't erase the truth that he's been there for us, showing us respect and telling us to treat women right and be strong when life gets hard. And he even called his dad the anchor of the whole family, like the guy they all lean on. But then out of nowhere, this dude Gandil is like, nah, that letter is all fake drama. And Justin is actually playing the long game, because he might benefit big time if his dad stays locked up.
Well, Diddy is upping his offer to the government. He wants out of jail right now. You know that he is still behind bars at Brooklyn MDC while he is awaiting his sentence in October. But right after he was sentenced, they tried to get out on bail. They made an offer. They said, we'd like for him to be released on $1 million bail. The judge shut that down. So now it's like he's playing Let's Make a Deal, right? How about this, Your Honor? What if we offer a $50 million bail package? The money has gone up, but the reason that he thinks he should get out is because He says what he's convicted of were non-violent offenses. And he's right. He's right that he was convicted on 2 counts of the Mann Act. The Mann Act is hiring a prostitute and taking the prostitute across state lines. It's a non-violent crime. So when you look at what happened, there were allegations that he was violent toward Cassie and Jane, during the prosecution's case. There was testimony. But the jury found him not guilty on those counts. And when you look at the Intercontinental video in 2016, he would have been convicted had he been prosecuted in California. But he wasn't. And the statute of limitations ran. So his position is, look, you're holding me because you say I have violent propensities, but that's not what I was convicted on.
It's not what he was convicted on, but those violent propensities do exist.
Look, the bottom line is they didn't convict him
You guys
of
are arguing the wrong
violence.
point. The Mann Act, under the bail statute, you can argue what you think the law should be. Here's what the law is. Under the bail statute, it is considered a violent crime. We can say it doesn't include violence. The Mann Act, 18 U.S.C. 2421, prohibits the transportation of individuals across state lines for prostitution and other immoral purposes. This is called a crime of violence when determining whether to detain a defendant on bail.
Right, on bail.
Wait a second. He just dropped. No, hold on. You had the actual.
He's asking for bail.
Hold on. No, but the judge didn't allow bail for $1 million.
I know.
They were willing to put $1 million up. And by the way, you know as well as I know that and I'm not defending Diddy here. All I'm saying is, no, I'm not. I mean, Diddy should have been convicted in California.
Hold on.
But what I'm saying is, the Mann Act is not a violent crime.
I know what you're saying. I get it.
It's not.
But the judge has to go by the code.
So is this about amount? Is this about amount?
It's not about amount. So
it says on bail. It says on bail.
The violent crime, the defendant, the convicted defendant, has to prove by preponderance of the evidence to convince the judge one of 2 things. Either, both, he's not a flight risk. The judge did not weigh not letting him out on him being a flight risk. There's no real evidence he's a flight risk, and that's what the money would go to. Is he willing to leave $50 million behind? He has an ankle monitor.
Right.
He's not really a flight risk.
Surrenders passport too.
Surrenders passport. The other thing that Diddy has to show, the burden is on Diddy, is that he is not likely to commit the same violent act, the Mann Act, again. Diddy, remember, even though he knew he was under federal surveillance, even though he was about to be arrested, was conducting a freak-off.
So what you're saying is they will keep him behind bars pending sentencing because they're afraid he might have a freak-off with a prostitute.
So after that, some of the other kids wrote about how after their mom, Kim Porter, passed away in 2018, Diddy basically forced himself to step up, even though he was broken inside, and Quincy was like, Pops made it his mission to be there for us when we needed him most. And then Delilah and Jesse, who just finished high school, added that no matter what pain or drama came our way, the family always stuck together, and we know deep down who our dad is. And Christian got even more dramatic, writing directly to the judge begging, please let him out, this is driving us all crazy, and it was honestly heartbreaking. But come on, can letters alone really get him out early? Probably not. But his lawyers tried this bold move, asking for no more than 14 months, which is basically how long he's already been in. So if the judge buys it, he could walk free by the end of the year. And to make it juicier, TMZ had already whispered that Diddy might be secretly cutting deals with the government to pay his way out.
I heard about the mixtape, bro. I heard some of the lyrics is on there. But when do you grow up, man, and be who you really are? Because you ain't no gangster. You don't know what a gangster is. You a prankster. You a prankster, son. Stop that. I think when the people heard the mixtape and they called him out on it, and they was checking him and they was trying to check him, but they lost, bruh. They don't have no guidance. The dude who's supposed to be doing, I don't know if he's security or whatever like that. Man, what the fuck is you doing out here like this? He gets on the ground and start doing push-ups with him. Bruh, for real? Man, put your shirt on and get your ass back in that damn car. Stop acting like you stupid. Act like you got some sense. That's when they making the dollar make them, bro. The dollar is making them. What you happy about? You gotta realize they know his daddy's still going to jail. They happy because they feel like the government doesn't have a right to mess with nobody's assets at this time. The verdict on the RICO, non and void. Nothing. Racketeering, nothing. And I guess it was some kind of, what was the other charge? Sex or something like that? Not sex. They got the sex charges, but the RICO, the racketeering, and the kidnapping. The kidnapping, coercion, kidnapping, all this like that. All that was non-void. It went nowhere. It went nowhere. But you still partying? Your dad about to do some time. So he ain't getting life. Maybe he's around there dancing because Diddy ain't getting life.
Okay, listen, this whole situation just keeps spinning like a soap opera. So even Diddy's mom, Janice, who's turning 85, now threw in her letter saying, yeah, my son has made a bunch of mistakes, but deep down, he's still the man I raised, and I want the court to see that. And yet, every single time his lawyers ask for bail, the judge just says, nope. So now October is the big month. Everyone is waiting on like the final card in the game, but people are already side-eyeing the whole family, saying they should not be the ones begging for sympathy since their own closets are stuffed with drama and receipts. Like, take Justin, for example. While the trial with his dad was making headlines, a brand new lawsuit popped up in LA accusing him of using his dad's name to lure a woman all the way from Louisiana with promises of work and then allegedly treating her badly over one weekend. And the timing was wild because this lawsuit landed right as Diddy's trial was closing. And to make it even more chaotic, that very same day, Christians, also known as King Combs, decided to drop his new album with 7 tracks, including one actually called Diddy Free, produced by none other than Kanye. And people are already whispering that Christian might be just like his dad, chasing the spotlight, but also falling into all the wrong habits, just like history repeating itself, but in a messier remix.
I feel like he played a part in that video coming out. You know, him making a comment saying that, you know, they forgot to raid the house next door that his dad owned. Yeah, man, he was wilding out.
Yeah, I think he was just. I don't believe he bought the house next door, because let me just tell you something. If anything or any name that had to do with Bad Boy, the federal government gonna run that. They know all the properties Diddy have. They wasn't even talking about the raid that they did in New York, but they did a raid in New York too.
Yeah, I ain't hear about that raid. I only heard about the, you know, the LA and Miami raid. But you feel like the feds, they released that video over King Combs' comments.
Oh man, I've worked in law enforcement for 27 years, and I had the opportunity to see HIDA. It's a place, whereas they have the state, the feds, the NYPD, the Department of Corrections, and the state police. Yo, this place could be half of a basketball court. That's where they just got lines of computers with officers of all different people and officers just on the internet. Whoever's over that case, whoever's working that case, don't you know they saw that and took it to their boss? You might think it's petty, but it's not. You do not agitate a lion with a pork chop. And that's what that kid did, bro.
Some people feel like, you know, Diddy, he played a part in that video coming out too. You know, him being spotted with Stevie J, smiling at the camera. You know, a lot of people blame him too.
But bro, what did I tell you? He's such a narcissist that he has to be in the public.
So now, Gene Deal is out here stirring the pot, saying that honestly, it was probably King's own dumb moves that ended up putting his dad right in the middle of this whole arrest drama in the first place. Like, imagine all that trouble starting from his careless behavior.
Diddy does have a plan to try to derail the information, derail the chain of evidence, derail history as it actually happened. And he is the kind of guy that has no problem with re-victimizing people all over again. Let's just keep it a buck. These girls showed up at a very opportune time, did they not? Adria and Lamisha Fuller. Very opportune time. I do Pierce Morgan. The elites go insane. Ariel Mitchell Kidd drops Adria English as a client after she got drunk and talked with Tasha K, which was bad in itself if you ask me.
So here's the thing with Diddy. This whole legal storm is nothing new. It really kicked off back in late 2023 when his ex Cassie dropped that huge lawsuit accusing him of some really serious stuff. And even though he threw $20 million at it and settled the very next day, it basically opened the floodgates for a bunch of other people to come forward with their own claims. And now the latest case is saying Justin was out here promising career chances and even using personal pics to control this woman. And the crazy part is, the papers say he was just following the same messy patterns his dad has been accused of for years. Of course, Diddy's lawyers came out strong, saying, nope, all of this is fake, exaggerated, and totally unfair. But the woman is asking for money, saying what she went through left her emotionally wrecked. And while all that is going down, people online are whispering that maybe, just maybe, Diddy himself is even leaking stories about his kids just to take the heat off his own back, which, if true, would be the wildest twist ever.
I think the one that's suing her.
I think that they accusing Diddy mom of stealing anything is wrong. All she did was allow him to put certain things in her name to protect. If at any time, because of some of the things that he was doing and the nature of what he was doing and he knew he was doing to people, if he ever sued, he'd probably be safe having money and things in her name. Do you understand that? See, I don't believe Miss Combs gave that stuff up a long time ago when she used to do her little modeling thing with her little ladies of the night, the little wild parties. When she gave that up, I don't think she was in the business. I don't think she was in the business to know exactly where the money's going, how's coming in, who she taking it from. He was just doing it and putting it and had the authority to put it in her name. You understand what I'm saying?
Right, but let me ask you this. Do you think she knew what he was doing?
I believe she knew he was doing the freak-offs, but do I believe she knew he was allocating different monies to different places and which way it was going, which offshore accounts, which Swiss banks accounts and all this shit was going in? Nah. I think she just was enjoying the fruits of the labor.
But why you believe she knew about the freak-offs?
Because one of the witnesses said she was there.
In fact, Gene Deal actually took it one step further and even alleged that Diddy and his mother had a very inappropriate relationship.
I'm looking at his mother and him on the couch, and both of them are getting IVs after one of the Diddy parties. allegedly, I'm gonna say allegedly because I wasn't there and I didn't know, but they showed them both getting IVs on the couch. So my whole thing about this thing is that I'm not saying that she was ever at a freak off, she was ever at that type of party, but you can't tell me Miss Janice Combs, who was always at the regular parties, didn't know nothing about the freak off parties. This is the same dude, bruh, that used to disrespect his mother. So I seen the love now that they have for each other only on film and camera. You know, on the YouTube or Instagram or wherever they were showing it and stuff like that. But this the same guy that Kirk Burrows once told me he slapped his mother. And I told everybody, had I known he slapped his mother after I told Kirk Burrows, Kirk told me after I straightened his ass out for cussing his mama out. His mother came in the limousine and he was on the phone and she said, yo, why don't you tell these people like that? And he just cussed her clean out like on some, didn't I tell you to stay out my motherfucking business? And I was like, yo, I was shocked. She didn't say nothing. I said to him, I said, yo, boy, let me tell you something. If you ever cuss your mama again, I'm gonna beat the shit out you. You ain't gonna bring nothing but bad luck to us treating your mama like that.
And girl, it is not just his son in the spotlight. No, even Diddy's. Mom Janice is being dragged into the chaos like Rolling Stone spilled in January that back in the day, she was famous for throwing these wild, crazy parties at home and apparently even joining in on freak-offs. So yeah, the drama clearly runs deep in the family.
Clive Davis put Sean Combs in position. That's what Clive Davis does. The amount of abuse Janis Joplin suffered when she wanted to leave Clive Davis management. The amount of Whitney Houston suffered when she was ready to write her book. And then all of the she suffered. You know, Luther Vandross, that was nasty work, Clive. Swinging it at Jay-Z's knees. I'm swinging it at Clive Davis's knees, and I'm swinging it at anybody else's knees who has had anything to do with this tyranny, with this evil.
Jaguar Wright explained that Clive Davis acts like he doesn't even know Diddy. An interviewer tried to ask Clive Davis what he thought about Diddy's situation, and he literally played like he was an old man and he couldn't understand what the interviewer was asking him. And when I tell you, you could see it in Clive Davis's face that he knew exactly what this man was asking him. He just didn't know how he was gonna try to answer this question. It was so awkward. Then the person next to Clive Davis said they're asking about Diddy, and Clive Davis didn't say a word, and he continued to walk into this restaurant. This interviewer waited outside of this restaurant for Clive Davis to come out and then asked him about Diddy all over again, and Clive Davis wouldn't even look this man in the eye, and he continued to get in his car, and he actually rolls up the window on this interviewer. And we know that Clive Davis is the person that mentored Diddy and helped him with Bad Boy Records. And Jaguar Wright has talked about Clive Davis and Diddy's relationship for a long time.
A lot of people are curious about the status of P. Diddy.
Status of what?
P. Diddy. Diddy.
Like puppy. The status of puppy.
What do you make of that situation?
Have my desk in my room.
All right. No comment from Clive Davis on P. Diddy. Mr. Davis, you were a major influence on the career of P. Diddy. Have you spoken to him since the federal raid?
Yes.
Have you spoken to Sean Combs? Any comment, Mr. Davis? Any comments about Diddy? He credits you as one of his mentors.
And in her new interview with Real Life Street Stars, they actually brought up this weird encounter with Clive Davis to ask Jaguar Wright how she felt about it. So I'm gonna go ahead and roll you guys this clip of Jaguar Wright explaining why Clive Davis would act like he couldn't understand questions about Diddy, and you guys let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments.
You mentioned Clive Davis. They just showed him recently walking into somewhere, and they asked him about Diddy, and he said, "Who?" Is that old age, or does he not? They're not in the same world, or they're in the same world, but they're not cohorts.
He's definitely been his.
Oh, okay.
I would call that the same world.
Okay. It's pretty
And for
intertwined.
him to say Diddy who is his way of saying, I'm not talking about Sean anymore. Maybe he's been playing cozy with the other Sean.
Let me ask you this. Yeah, I think for appearance sake, they're afraid to do that. But I got two questions. One, Clive Davis, his name has been thrown around a lot now, and he's not speaking out. I know some people that know Clive, and I think he's got concerns. Now, he's a powerful guy, no question about it. But did you ever hear anything about him?
Puffy and Clyde, according to Puffy and everybody else, they've been lovers. Shit, Clyde know Ray J, Clyde know Puffy, Clyde know everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Clyde's that type of guy. And if you notice, somebody sent me a clip one time on my tablet, and somebody asked Clyde about Puffy. They called me, they asked him about it. He acted like he didn't know who the man was. Like he never knew him. I mean, what did you hide, Clyde? You know?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, Clyde is one of the guys who got away. But old as Clyde is, he should be able to tell the truth. It ain't like he got a lot to live on Earth. Quite sure he's slowly coming to a painful end.
And if that wasn't already messy enough, Gandeal went even further with the drama and straight up claimed that Diddy and his own mom had some kind of inappropriate relationship, which honestly sounds so wild and disturbing that people don't even know what to believe. So now, in this new Peacock doc called Diddy, The Making of a Bad Boy, his old friend, hip-hop producer Tim Dog Patterson is spilling tea saying like, yeah, that's the stuff we saw growing up. That was just normal Saturday night for us back then. And maybe it kind of desensitized everybody without them even realizing it. And he hinted that Diddy's messy environment as a kid could be a big reason why he's now drowning in all these lawsuits and investigations. And what makes it even crazier is that other voices like Jaguar Wright and Suge Knight have also backed this up, saying Diddy picked up a lot of these behaviors straight from some of the biggest names in the game, almost like it was passed down to him. So basically, that whole 90-minute doc ties it all together, showing how Diddy's childhood, his wild family life, and the stuff he was surrounded with shaped the man he turned into and now even rubbed off on his kids too. And honestly, it's one of those stories that just makes you shake your head like, wow, how messy can it get? OMG, babes, if you're living for this kind of messy tea and you want all the drama all the time, then you gotta stick around because this is just how we do it here on Taylor Tells All. So hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell so you never miss the next spill, and of course drop your thoughts in the comments because I love hearing what you think.